So Glendora is beautiful, charming, it has small town pride, but let's be honest, like every city in the country, it has its quirks. And after years of helping dozens of families move into the Glendora area, we finally started noticing a trend. People would move into Glendora and say, huh, I wasn't expecting that. So finally, we got together with some of our clients and we started asking them, what were some of the quirkiest things that you didn't realize about Glendora that you would want other people to know? So we compiled a list. We asked all of our clients, what are some of the quirkiest things of Glendora? And I think the list is gonna surprise you. My name is Gabriel Perez and I'm the team leader for the Perez team. My wife and I have helped dozens and dozens of people move into the Glendora city specifically and all across Southern California. And we would love to help you and your family find a home in beautiful Glendora, California. Number one on the list has got to be that the streets are, the neighborhood layouts are odd, they're quirky, they're different. And one of our clients, that was one of the biggest changes for them. They came from a big city, really clean grids, north, south, east, west. That's kind of your, clean right turns, left turns. You always knew which direction you were going. And one of the things they said to us is, we cannot figure out some of these small streets sometimes. And it's true. Some of the streets have no sidewalks, some curve and have a dead end, and they, you don't realize they're gonna have a dead end. Other times, I mean, you're going from one street to the next and there's just a disconnect and you have to go around. So the layout of Glendora is pretty quirky. It takes some getting used to. Once people get used to it, I will say, we gather that they love the quirkiness. It just creates even that much more of a homey feel. It's so unique to itself. So one of the quirkiest things about Glendora has got to be the odd, quirky layout of the neighborhoods and of the streets. Now I have to kind of answer this two different ways because currently there's some new developments happening in North Glendora, which are gorgeous. I mean, these are brand new builds. But I will say, one of the quirky things about Glendora is how different and unique every single home is. I mean, they are custom built. One of our clients that we were showing properties to said that they looked down the street. They were looking at a home on one street and they looked down the street and every single home on that street was so vastly different. They felt like it was, I think the words they used is, it felt like they were looking for a home in Europe because none of these homes followed a specific style or model, and they absolutely loved that. So very quirky. I think some people may not like that, if I'm being honest. Our clients absolutely loved it. And once you're walking through Glendora streets, you'll actually really start to appreciate it because it's almost like an Easter egg hunt where you see a craftsman home and then across the street you see a Mediterranean style home and then you see a duplex here and then you see a giant lot ranch style property there. So very quirky of Glendora. One of our clients, they were really surprised at that, but it was refreshing. They loved the custom nature of all of these homes. They were all built during different times. Like for example, right now, some of the newer builds, even those they're trying to make more and more custom, not all of those track homes where they all look the same. So quirkiness for sure with Glendora is how different and unique and custom every single home is. And two areas that I really would like to highlight when it comes to this is Morgan Ranch and the Gordon Highlands. These are areas where the lots are absolutely huge and they are custom building these homes. And a lot of times, again, when you see a brand new build and it's a big new build, it's gonna look pretty cookie cutter. However, in those specific areas, they really try not to do that. So you're gonna see big lots and a custom home, which is kind of hard to come by in Southern California or even in the San Gabriel foothills. Now the village, first of all, it's quirky in its own right. I mean, the wide range of restaurants and stores. I mean, one of the stores is Old School Toys, and it's been around forever. The tree-lined feel that you get, but the quirkiness within the village, which is already quirky, is that the village can close really, really early. So it's not uncommon for the village to close by 6 p.m. and it is just absolutely crickets. It's really quiet, and that's where you kind of get that retirement feel. Now on the flip side, when there's a wine walk, when there's a party, when there's a farmer's market event, then the city's alive. The village is booming. So I think the quirkiness in that is that you get both extremes already within a very quirky feel of the village. And just to kind of layer onto the things that the village does, I mean, they have concerts out in the open, they'll do marching bands. As soon as you get into seasonality, you have Christmas, you have Halloween, you know, there's a Halloween trick-or-treating during the daytime where all the stores turn into basically like homes, and the schools will do trick-or-treating up and down the village so that the kids can trick-or-treat at all of the restaurants and the stores. So really quirky. We love all the things that the village does. So love it or hate it, it closes really early, and on the flip side, sometimes it's absolutely noisy and high energy. Now, if you have never heard of the Donut Man, let me educate you. It is world famous. They have seasonal donuts. The Tiger Tail is world renowned, and the Donut Man it is a absolute gem of the town. If you've never been, soon moving into Glendora, you will realize that it is a badge of honor for Glendora to have the Donut Man in it. Now, having said that, there's some quirks even to that. The Donut Man is a parking nightmare. So you need to know when you can go to the Donut Man or not. So a few little tips on when you should be visiting the Donut Man. Late at night, you know, you can get a pretty decent line during that time, so be careful. Weekends, it's definitely gonna be packed, but about midday, if you really want to, you can, for your office, you can buy some donuts, but regardless of the line, the Donut Man, it's been on Food Network multiple times, and it's a gem of the city. I highly recommend anybody that moves to Glendora or is even thinking about moving to Glendora, you have to visit the Donut Man. It's an amazing place. We love it as a family. We stop by every once in a while. Even growing up when I didn't live in the area, we would still drive over to Glendora just to get donuts at the Donut Man. So we're here at Donut Man in Glendora. Cruz, what kind of donut are you gonna get?
I don't know yet.
Lots of options, huh?
Nah, I'm going to choose right now. Two guys after.
Okay. Goose, what kind of donut are you gonna get?
Like this.
Pink one?
Yeah.
Show us which donut. Good choice. So we are here at Donut Man. We just got our donuts here. Karina, you want to show the famous Tiger Tail?
The Tiger Tail.
So it's a chocolate swirl glaze. And then Cruz, did you get sprinkles? And then Mom, what did Goose get?
A sprinkle cake donut with white icing.
So I know people are going to ask what this tastes like. So I think this is I think this is mostly glazed, but you can see there's a swirl of chocolate through it. But these things are the best. Also, they're really known for their seasonal stuff like their strawberry, their peaches. But highly recommend Donut Man. And because it's so classic, it kind of makes Glendora a little quirky because they have this. So, cheers. The charm of the village is not without pains, and the quirkiness of the village already in and of itself, but also the parking situation with the village can be somewhat of a hassle. So I'll give you some examples. If you ever try to go into the village on the weekend, you just have to expect that it's gonna be a little bit more difficult to park. If there's ever an event, the wine walk, the Christmas parade, 4th of July parade, any main event or concert, you just have to know that the entire city is bearing down on the village. Parking is going to be tough. One of our clients that we asked, they said that their very first time going into the village was on a weekend, and they circled it for 15 minutes before they could actually find a spot. And they actually gave us a little tip. They said, try the library lot or Oakdale Avenue behind the shops during busier times. So there's a little insider tip for you, but a definite quirk of Glendora and a quirk of the village is that parking is tough, especially during those peak times. As a nod to its history of citrus trees and growing citrus trees, Glendora has citrus trees everywhere. there are lemon trees, there are grapefruit trees, there's orange trees. They're in people's yards, front yards, backyards. They're just on the streets. They line the village, some parts of the village, I should say. And everywhere you go, you're gonna see citrus trees. It's a beautiful sight, to be honest. And there's even a very specific street on Palm Drive, where if you go on Palm Drive, you can actually smell all of the citrus aromas. It's actually really cool, but definitely a quirk of Glendora. Other cities don't quite have this, is the amount, the sheer volume of citrus trees. People love it, it's endearing, and it is definitely a quirk of Glendora. So hands down, my favorite quirk of Glendora, California has got to be, wait for it, that there are peacocks. There are wild roaming peacocks all throughout Glendora. Now, let me give you a vision here. Glendora is about 19 to 20 square miles, a decent sized city. There are over 120 accounted for wild peacocks that just roam throughout the streets. And it gets quirkier because, for those of you that don't know, peacocks make a really loud sound. Despite them being beautiful, it could be a pretty loud sound. And peacocks love to jump on your roofs. So if at any point in time you hear a strange noise and some thudding on your roof, there's a good chance that you have a visitor in the form of a peacock. So, I mean, the city is actually trying to keep the population of the peacocks in control because it could get out of control. Peacocks are pretty large and they are pretty bold. They will walk down the street right in front of cars. So you do have to be careful with that, but it's a quirk. It's also kind of a danger. It could be a nuisance to some. To my kids, they love seeing the peacocks, but over 120 peacocks in the city of Glendora has got to be one of the most unique quirks in Glendora, California. So this one may not be as quirky. This might just be a reality of living in Glendora, but we've seen some major swings in temperature. And I'll give you some examples. We've seen that in the winters, we could touch the 40s. It could be very chilly for us here in California. It could be very chilly. So, you know, you're getting nice and cozy, getting a hot cup of coffee, and that feels great. On the flip side, in the summers, I think back in 2016, we had a record high of 111 degrees. So whether you love that high, dry heat, or you love those cold 40-degree winters, that swing is there for you, and they're not that far away from each other. I'm talking 4 or 5 months, you're either staying in the shade because it's 110 degrees, or you're bundled up because it's 40 degrees. So the weather swings are pretty dramatic here. Still don't have a ton of rain, but regardless of what kind of weather you like, we definitely have that, and maybe even to an extreme here in Glendora. And the last quirk that I would say Glendora has, and it's one that you have to experience, is people truly do love Glendora. And when I say that, I mean they want to identify themselves as being from Glendora. You will hear somebody not only say they were born and raised in Glendora, but they'll go on to say how long their family has been in Glendora. People move to Glendora, they set up their roots, and a lot of times they never leave. That's why, again, we have that perception of it being a little bit of a retirement community, because there are people that have been here for generations. Now, going back to that welcoming pride that they have here in Glendora, one of our clients moved into Glendora, and the first 3 days, their first 3 days of living in their new house, they were invited to the block party of where they were living. And within a week, they knew every single person on their street's name. And again, that might not be for everybody. You may not like that, but I just want it to be known that that is a great quirk that Glendora has, is the people of Glendora truly love being in Glendora. They truly love their neighbors. They want everybody to experience Glendora. So if you're on the fence about Glendora, and hopefully this exposed you to some of the quirks, good or bad, I would love for you to meet the people of Glendora, because there's really not much else you could say other than meeting them and seeing how they live here. If you find this useful, I would encourage you, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're here to help anybody and everybody when it comes to their real estate needs. We understand what it's like to move with the family, to want to grow a family in a really specific city in a special way. So please don't hesitate to reach out. You can you could call us, email us, you could DM us on social media, and we're always here to help. So there you have it. The quirks of Glendora. And if I'm being totally honest, I wouldn't have it any other way. I think cities like Glendora should have their quirks, and I think everyone should know about them. And the truth of the matter is, if some people don't like these quirks, Glendora is not the city for them, and that's totally fine. But I personally think that the quirks of Glendora make it Glendora, and it makes it endearing and a charming community. And if you're still on the fence about moving to Glendora or any of the San Gabriel Foothills cities, I would encourage you to reach out to myself and Karina. We help families every single day make a big decision to decide if the San Gabriel Foothills cities, in this case Glendora, is the right fit for them, for their family. If they're moving up or downsizing, we would love to educate you and help you explore the options of the beautiful city of Glendora, California.